Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. Well, the Prime Minister's given the strongest hint yet that this year's budget will be a sober one. He's calling it the No-frills budget to reflect the times that the country is going through. And there'll be two main focuses, the cost of living and cyclone recovery. They are the two biggest immediate issues. And for the first time, an official estimate of the cost of recovery from the cyclones has been put at between $9 and $14 billion. Chris Hipkins was at pains to make it clear that there will be no new taxes like a wealth tax or a capital gains tax in this budget, but he did say there will be investment in the infrastructure for skills and science. Political reporter Amelia Wade has more.
After quite a fancy lunch of beef, chicken salad and out-of-season asparagus, the Prime Minister told Kiwis to think of him as home brand chippy.
This year's budget will be a no-frills budget. It befits the times that we are currently living in.
Using his pre-budget speech to swear he is a sensible spender.
It's not right for households to be tightening their belts if the government isn't also being seen to be doing the same.
I am very sceptical of their ability to be able to do that.
Chris Hipkins has quite a bit to pay for. The cost of the devastating Auckland floods and Cyclone Gabrielle could be up to $14.5 billion.
That's more than the Kaikoura earthquake, but significantly less than the Canterbury earthquake. But significantly less than the Canterbury earthquake.
And he'll pay for it by borrowing more and spending less. No frills and no taxes.
There'll be no new taxes or levies to pay for the recovery.
No new taxes at all. Well, at least this term. Even after the Revenue Minister set the cat amongst the rich yesterday, with Inland Revenue's investigation finding the uber wealthy pay about half the equivalent tax of everyday Kiwis. The PM ruled out any new taxes before the election, then ruled them out again and again.
The government will not be introducing any major new taxes. We won't be rocking the boat by introducing major new taxes. I have made that absolutely clear.
But he said Labor was still considering whether they'd be campaigning on new ones or even adjusting the tax brackets.
Now is not the right time to do that when we have a high inflationary environment.
A high inflationary environment which he made a point of saying was on its way down, partly thanks to what is now skyrocketing immigration.
You asked the government to take steps to attract more labour to New Zealand, and we have, and those actions are starting to work.
New Zealand could be on track for 100,000 migrant arrivals in 1 year, which would be the highest ever net migration.
We haven't planned for this level of migration. We know we've got housing challenges. We know we've got infrastructure shortages. All of that is going to be even further exacerbated.
We're catching up. You know, there's been a house building boom in recent years. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet, though. So we've got to make sure that we get the balance right.
Getting the balance right, the unofficial slogan the Prime Minister has hung on Budget 2023.
And Amelia joins us now. Kia ora, Amelia. So a no-frills speech about a no-frills budget.
Aye, that's right, Mike. Chris Hipkins' speech was a bit boring, but that was exactly the point. It was timed to be the day after the tax investigation, so the Prime Minister could smother any rumours of a stealth wealth tax. Labor has a lot of scar tissue about capital gains tax, and the last thing this government wants to be doing is having that fight when a block of cheddar is nudging on $20. And up until this point, Chris Hipkins, as Prime Minister, has been defined by what is scrapped rather than what he stands for, and this budget is his chance to change that. So today he was at pains to say that the government's days of big spending are behind them. Instead, his focuses will be on skills, science and infrastructure. Though he's not quite done with the scrap heap just yet. The final trilogy in the policy bonfire, the final part rather in the trilogy of the policy bonfire will drop on budget day now in 21 sleeps.
Amelia Wade live from Parliament. Tēnā koe.